Today we're going to go ahead and install the JK sector shaft brace with track bar reinforcement bracket. And to get started, the first thing we're going to do is remove the track bar bolt on the frame side to get this down out of the way so we can get to the sector nut. So we're going to go ahead and start with that. It's a 21 millimeter bolt and nut. So we're going to go ahead and loosen those up and get it out. So now that we got the track bar out, we're going to go ahead and remove the pitman nut, the stock pitman nut. It's going to be a 33 millimeter, and we're going to go ahead and remove that, and then we'll install our new sector nut. We're doing that now while the steering box is connected to the bolts. It'll make it easier to get the thing spun off and torque back on correctly while it's attached. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. Now, when you go to reinstall the new sector nut, there's going to be a washer that goes on the top. And then there's also going to be the nut. And the new sector nut is going to install in this orientation up. Now with that, you're also going to want to put on some red thread locker. We've got some Loctite 268 here. I'm just going to put some on the threads. And we're doing that because the OEM one comes with a lock washer. And it's just a little bit of extra insurance for you when you go to put this all back together. So throw a little bit on there, and then we'll go ahead and get the washer and then start the nut. So we got the nut started here, and then this is going to be a 41 deep socket is what you're going to need to get this thing back up and on here. And we're going to get it all the way up, and then we're going to torque it to 185. So I'll get this thing finished up and all the way up there, and then we'll get the torque wrench out. All right, so now that we got that thing up there and spun on pretty good, we're going to go ahead and torque this to 185. All right. So this should get us up there. All right, again, we're going to 185. So it's going to turn on you here. Okay. And now it's maxed out, so we should... Let's get a little more. There's one. Yep, so there's 185. So that's now torqued down. We can go ahead and return this back to the centered position here where we had it. That's good to go now. So now we're going to go ahead and start working on the sector brace itself. All right, so now that we've got the sector nut, the new sector nut tightened down, we got Loctite on it, we can go ahead and start to remove the 4 bolts here that are holding the steering box onto the frame. Something we can do to help assist us in getting into these back couple is to take a ratchet strap, and we're going to grab onto the spring and pull it backwards a little bit. So we'll do that to start. And as you can see there, that should give us access to get all these out. These are 18 millimeter bolts, and we're going to go ahead and remove those now. Now the bracket comes with all new hardware for both the steering box and also for the track bar. So first things first, we can take the track bar bolt and run it through the bottom here. And we're going to take it and install it from this orientation with the head of the bolt on the back side going forward through. And that's because the bolt is a little bit longer to make up for the extra thickness of the bracket, and it keeps it from impacting the axle when you have full suspension compression. So if you run it out from underneath, it's going to give you the easiest way to get it up and in. Now it's going to be a little bit of a tight fit. Obviously, it's kind of what you want it to be. So you may need a little mallet, rubber mallet to help you tap it up and in. Looks pretty well lined up. Run the bolt in from the back here. Looks like it needs to go maybe a tiny bit up. new track bar bolt fits through easily. I'm gonna go ahead and just put that nut on the front so it doesn't go anywhere. And now we can go ahead and install our new hardware kit. Comes with a washer and a lock washer. Proper stack up is lock washer on top, washer on the bottom. And then we're gonna run these through. They're all the same length. And what we'll have to do is get underneath here a little bit to adjust the height of the steering box so it's back where it's supposed to be and lined up for these bolts to go in. Got one started here. All right. So the factory bolts are 18 mil. We're providing 19 mil grade 8 magnet coated bolts. So instead of 18, you're using 19. Now, like I said, the torque spec on these is 70 foot-pounds, so we're gonna go ahead and get that torqued up and locked back into place here. So we got our torque wrench set to 70, and we're gonna go ahead and just snug these up. There's 70 on that one. All right, so we got 70 foot-pounds in all those, and that's torqued down and good to go. So if you want, you go ahead and use a paint marker or something similar to mark the lines correctly. All right, so go ahead and mark these. So now we'll go ahead and get the bearing plate affixed inside of here. So you got two magnet coated grade 8 bolts that are coming from us for this as well. I'd say go ahead. It's not going to hurt to throw a little bit of Loctite on these as well. They're not super high torque, and it will probably benefit you to have a little bit on there. And you know, getting it off shouldn't be a crazy feat, being that they're smaller, and just don't go crazy putting it on. So orientation wise, there's going to be a little bit of a cut here on the back side, and that's going to be like a relief for for track bar travel, basically. And this fitment here is going to probably be a little tight, so we're just going to lightly tap it up and in to get it into place. And looks like we're good, so let's go ahead and try it. Get this front one in. We're lined up there. Let's check this back one. A little, there we go. Went a little too far with the back side, but just pulled down on the bearing plate a little bit and got her lined up perfectly now. So go ahead and get these in, and we're going to tighten these to 25 to 35 foot-pounds. So you can use a little ratcheting wrench or whatever to get it snugged in. And then, like, once we get those, we'll go ahead and put the torque wrench on it, 25 to 35 foot-pounds. All right. So this is a 13 millimeter bolt. I'm gonna go ahead and just move this out of the way a little bit. Let's give us better access to this front one. Again, 25 to 35 pounds. All right, that one's good to go. And then we'll do the same thing on the back one. So that's good to go. So now we'll go ahead and put our C-clip on. This is just a little precautionary, just in case anything crazy happens. Keep your bearing plate from coming off should you somehow lose the torque on that or something. So now that we've got that done though, we can go ahead and remove the nut here and the bolt. And then we'll go ahead and put our track bar back up in there. The new track bar bolt is 18 for the bolt head. And a 21 for the nut side. So go ahead and get this thing snugged up. And then we're going to wait to torque this until it's on the ground, because obviously you don't want to put your rubber bushing into a bind. If you have a different type of track bar bushing like a Heim or polyurethane bushing, you can torque it down right now while it's up and in the air. But best practice here is to do it while it's down, resting at ride height. And yeah, looking at about 130 foot-pounds on this. And once you do that, everything should be buttoned up and good to go. So we'll get this thing finished.